So we're going to move along. Charlie Demers had a, what would you say, a bug in your craw or something?
A little bug in my craw.
And he expresses it on this week's Third Rail.
About 280 years ago, Jonathan Swift wrote a modest proposal in which he suggested that the suffering of poverty could be alleviated through the eating of Irish babies. Ever since then, the Irish have lived in perpetual fear of the hungry.
They're marshmallow maniacs.
Got you, Lucky Charms!
Actually, most people got that Swift was being ironic, but it's probably lucky that the BC Liberals weren't around back then, because if so, they'd probably be knocking back Mickeys of baby, well, Mickey.
Got you, Lucky Charms!
The fact is, the Liberals aren't really known for the whole compassion for the poor thing right now. Turns out they're the only group of people in the world to see this.
At this festive season of the year, Mr. Scrooge, a few of us are endeavouring to raise a fund to buy the poor some meat and drink and means of warmth.
But are there no prisons?
Plenty of prisons.
And go, oh yeah, prisons. Why didn't we think of prisons? The minister responsible for housing, Rich Coleman, now says that the whole jail the homeless for not going to a shelter thing was really more of just an idea. But the fact is, it's still commonplace in this city to talk about how we need to clean up the homeless before the Olympics so that we're not embarrassed in 2010. But the fact of the matter is, at least in my case, there's about 1 million groups that I'm more ashamed of than the homeless in terms of giving our city a black eye while the world is watching. Let's start with yuppies.
We met at Starbucks. Not at the same Starbucks, but we saw each other at different Starbucks across the street from each other.
Okay, Mr. Yuppie Man, we get it. You got a Yaletown condo with about the same square footage as your Mini Cooper. And by the way, you're not fooling anybody with that whole hairy cheeks, clean neck George Michael thing. It's a party on your face, business on your throat. You basically have a jaw mullet. Group 2. Frat boys.
You know that movie Borat? Do I? My sister is a #4 prostitute in all of Kazakhstan.
If you're downtown or in Gastown on a Saturday night and you hear someone who's intoxicated and they're screaming and they're bellowing, chances are it's not somebody who lives in a crack house, but somebody who lives in a frat house. All this worrying about how people are going to react when they see our hobos, why isn't anybody concerned what the IOC is going to think when they see our douches? The fact of the matter is, this city is chock full of people who are going to embarrass the hell out of us while the whole world is watching.
And you're telling me that there was no discussion about the fact there had just been an in-custody death?
No. And truth be told, I'm not so embarrassed by the homeless themselves as I am about the values and politics that put them out in the cold to begin with.
Enormous profits, no strikes. Remember, you're the big boss. Government control, no worry about votes. Name your own salary.
That, and I'm embarrassed about hippies. Look, I think if Africans knew what middle-aged white people were going to look like when they put on their clothes, they never would have made them in the first place. Luckily, it's the Winter Olympics, so nobody's going to find out. For the CityNews list, I'm Charlie Demers.
Well, I don't know about the rest of you. I like hippies. Just ahead, find out what you missed and why you missed it in our weekly entertainment wrap-up. Follow us on Twitter and join our Facebook group. Look for the CityNews list. Twitter.